Am I the asshole? For telling my husband I am not attending any more meals at my in-laws. Our 1-year-old daughter is allergic to dairy, and as I am still breastfeeding, I cannot eat dairy as it goes through my milk. This was found when she was about 4 weeks old, and it's been my normal since. Every time we've had any meal at my in-laws since our daughter has been born, I'm always left eating only meat and bread, because my Phil will make the salad with feta cheese tossed through it, or butter potatoes etc. No matter how many times I ask Phil to put some salad aside before putting cheese through it, or just to leave me some plain potatoes, it never happens. I usually just hold my tongue, eat what I can, then eat again when I get home. Today however was my last straw. My Phil and stepmill host a lunch every 6-ish months with family friends. At the last one we attended, we arrived at 11:30, lunch wasn't served till nearly 2 p.m., and because of the commotion, our daughter didn't sleep and was so overtired that I left almost in tears because I was hungry, and had a screaming baby. My husband said it was just a case of his dad not remembering what it is like to have a new baby and that next time wouldn't be so bad. When Phil invited us to today, we stipulated that we had to leave by 2 p.m. as my husband had a stag do to attend this afternoon. We were assured that there would be food for me to eat, and that lunch would be served between 1 and 1:30. I knew this wouldn't be the case when I saw the meat put in the oven at 1 p.m. Phil finally announced at 1:48 p.m. that lunch was ready, and when I got up to serve myself, I saw the salad was covered in feta, and the potato salad type dish was made with buttered potatoes. I managed to fish a little bit of lettuce and tomato from the salad and wipe the bit of feta off it, but that was it, aside from the usual meat and 2 slices of plain bread I always have. My husband and I quickly had our lunch, said our goodbyes and left. As I was dropping off husband to the stag do, I drove. On the way he tells me that we don't need to rush and he allowed a little extra time because he knew this would happen. I said if he knew this would happen, why didn't he say anything? He just said there was nothing he could do. I told him that it was the same as last time and that I left hungry again. He said that we had time to have seconds and I retorted that I couldn't eat the salads and I'm sick of eating just meat and bread any time we visit. I told him I'm done and I'm not attending any more meals at Phil and Stepmill because I don't want our daughter to be subjected to this when she's older. He said that wouldn't be the case, and I told him that makes it worse because that makes it sound like they'll make the effort for her but not for me. He said I was being ridiculous and that I can always take my own food next time. So it got me thinking. Am I an asshole for lashing out? Maybe I'm just taking things personally because I'm still hungry, and maybe it will be easier just to bring my own food. Not the asshole. I am mad for you. What a shitty bunch of in-laws, and I include your husband in that. Your kid, his kid, their grandkid depends on you for food, so besides being a major fuckwattle to you, they're hurting their own blood as well, for apparently no reason whatsoever. It's time for your husband to stand up for you. This won't be resolved until he does. Not the asshole his family and your husband are though. It is not hard to cater to no dairy. Just put out a bowl of crumbled feta with the salad to let people take their own. Use olive oil for the potatoes, or if that's just a culinary bridge too far for these people, they can set yours aside before buttering them. It's massively disrespectful to you. Why should you have to take your own food to an event you're invited to? As a host, I would be mortified to be so ungracious and make my guests so uncomfortable. Not the asshole. If you and your baby are not the priority, then you already know that you have a husband problem. Since he is not standing up for your family, you have to grow a nice shiny spine and stand up for yourself. No is a complete sentence and my suggestion is you start practicing saying no anytime your spouse says anything about going to the in-laws. He is more concerned with pleasing his family than protecting you. Not the asshole. Your daughter is at the age to be wanting a lot of the food herself to try. If they haven't changed the menu up for you then they never will. Not difficult to put margarine on the potatoes instead of butter. Not the asshole. You aren't asking them to do anything outrageous, and go out of their way to make you something else. You've asked them multiple times to simply remove your portion before they add their dairy to it. Your partner needs to speak up for you and his child more. This is not okay. It's not the same, but I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my second child, and had to eat very strictly. All my family were so wonderful, making sure I had suitable foods to eat when I was invited over. So this makes me sad to hear. Not the asshole. Your husband should be advocating for you more. It's his parents. Just eat before you go next time. Then when they ask why you aren't eating, you can tell them that since they continue to use dairy products in the dishes and you can't have dairy, you had to eat before you came. Then state, and since our daughter is allergic to dairy, she won't be able to eat here, either. Listen to the pin drop, and be ready for hubby to whine, but Phil and Mel need to hear this loud and clear. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband is an issue as much as your in-laws. He should be sticking up for you and his daughter. You aren't the asshole. But how many times did you go over there and expect them to change? These people don't care. Bring amazing food to their next dinner and make them feel like assholes for leaving this as the only option. Oh, bring dessert too. Just for you. Not the asshole. I agree, stop going to those lunches, and be clear why you won't. Your granddaughter is allergic to dairy, and as everything on the table aside from plain meat and bread always includes dairy, that means she won't be able to eat most of the food, and so I can't while I'm breastfeeding her. Then let DH go alone. We'd really love our granddaughter to come to these family lunches. She's allergic to dairy, and it would be no fun for her to be sitting there eating plain meat and bread while everyone else tucks into all the other food. Not the asshole, and your husband is a jackass. Not the asshole. I've been in your shoes. Low would projectile vomit if I ate dairy, so I completely understand. My in-laws were the same way, so I actually had to adapt and bring my own meals, otherwise I'd starve too. Lashing out was only in your defense, and you were hangry. I'm not saying being rude is okay, but maybe that'll help your DH understand the situation more? Woman shrugging. I've said it before, I'll say it again, messing with the food of a breastfeeding woman is a dick move. Your husband needs to realize this family behavior isn't healthy on level. He needs to find his cojones and stand up for his wife and daughter, heck, stand up for himself too. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your allergies are not electives. Your in-laws, however, they can be considered electives. You don't need them. I might send them a pamphlet on dairy allergies and how horrible it can be. Not the asshole. I would pack my own meal to take along and then unpack it when it's time to eat. When people ask about it, say, well, despite asking multiple times, Phil does not set aside food that I can eat without making our darling daughter horribly ill because of her allergies. Just stop your husband that the stress of dealing with his family and their poor meal planning is having a negative impact on your milk supply and the health of your baby. Not the asshole. His family is being careless. They know about your daughter's allergy but won't change anything. Not the asshole, obviously. As a fan of passive aggression, we Brits love it. I would take the eels aside and express concern for their worrying cognitive decline. I can't believe that you would intentionally do anything to exclude me and your grandchild, so I'm really concerned about this worrying memory loss. Let's get you checked out. They'll either be embarrassed or indignant, but either way hopefully they'll be shamed into changing their ways. Not the asshole, but you have a husband problem. Not the asshole, they are being rude and inconsiderate. I guarantee these people, when pushed, don't believe in things like lactose intolerance and think it's some millennial snowflake thing.